All right. I know it's been a motherfucking while, but welcome back to the Double D podcast. I have here myself, Dominic, and missing is my other host, Dennis, because he says he needs notes in order to do a podcast, but somehow doesn't need a goddamn thing to talk as much shit as humanly possible in the fantasy form. But we'll get to that another day. Some quick tips. You're probably wondering, hey, Dom, where do you get all this good fantasy news and advice? Well, there's fantasypros.com, there's Reddit /fantasyfootball. Then, of course, there's like the Yahoo apps, ESPN apps, or if you have like a cousin or a black friend that plays football, just fucking ask them. So, without further ado, I want to introduce today's special guest, Omar A. Torres. Yeah. Omar, go ahead and say a few words to our few listeners that we have so far.
What's up, everybody? You guys can call me Domar so that it can still be the Double D podcast if you want.
It's like Don Domar.
Dom Domar.
Shout out Puerto Rico.
It's like Don Draper, but not at all in any way. But hey, so yeah, I'm a Florida State fan. I don't watch too much NFL, but I know a little bit here and there about college football.
Which is fine because after college, they play in the NFL. So you kind of do know about professional football.
I know I've been seeing some Florida State running backs up in there working their magic.
We're going to talk about them.
But yeah, we're starting the season. And there's a lot going on right now in the football world. And some not so great.
Yeah, things. If you would, please, Omar, since you're an avid Florida State fan, can you tell me a little bit, because I missed a few games, what happened in those first 3 games for those of us that didn't watch it?
Well, those first 2 games, because as of this point, because of Hurricane Irma and
Maria,
and some other dealings, Florida State's only played 2 games.
They won both of them, or
they lost both. So
lost 100% of the games.
So we are in the haven't beaten anybody column of the football world, and other teams like Wake Forest that we're playing tomorrow are 4-0, and we have lost 2 games. That's our season. So
you know
far.
What's funny? Even though we're 0-2, we're still ranked like number 25 in the coaches poll.
Right? Yeah,
ain't that some shit.
It kind of makes sense because, well, okay, here's the thing, because NC State, Alabama, I'm going to say, they're Alabama. They're fucking number 1 all the time. It's like, there's no point in discussing that Alabama game. It was going to happen. But
Clemson would disagree, but go ahead.
But
what happened to our quarterback?
Yeah, and our quarterback,
Francois,
got banged up after throwing 2 interceptions. But
banged up as in his knee is shred to pieces for at least 12 months, or banged up like a gangbang?
The probably both, but the first one for sure. But NC State, okay, we played NC State. That was the other game that we lost. NC State has a solid defense with Bradley Chubb, he's gonna be a 1st-round pick for sure. And then we were playing with the
National Football League or the Canadian
in the NFL.
Football League?
In the draft, he's going first round for sure. He's a really good player, dynamic.
Shout out Chubb.
Yeah, played him in a lot of positions. He's good. I hate him for it because he took us to the house, but that's how it goes. And then we had a freshman quarterback. Our one of our main linebackers, I believe, Matthew Thomas, who's a really good player. He was out on like the 2nd drive or something like that. He was out really quick. He had an injury.
God damn.
Our only receiver who was really making things work, Auden Tate, he got out of the game with a shoulder injury, I believe. And so he was playing really well, and then he got knocked out of the game, I believe, in the 3rd quarter. So we couldn't really produce anything after that. The coaches were not calling great plays. The referees.
I was definitely blaming the coaches.
Oh, man. The officials in that game, they're notorious Florida State haters.
Ooh.
And they made some terrible calls throughout the game. So
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, they're bad. I think the ACC, it happens every year where we have at least one game where the officials are looking at us.
That's true, but the way I see it, you have to be so far above your opponent that you don't leave it to the refs to make these little shit calls.
And you're right, but at the same time, they don't help. You know what I mean? If they're going to call a fair game, then maybe we win. Maybe we don't, you know?
So how do you feel the season is on track for the rest? Are we going to go 0-12?
I'm predicting we'll probably lose to Clemson.
Probably.
And Louisville will probably come down to the wire.
I think we're going to lose that one too because they have a Heisman and we don't. And if anything I learned about Florida State history in football is that every time we go to the championship, we need a Heisman quarterback.
Yeah.
Every single fucking time. Yeah. We're not going to have that. We have no chance. We have no candidate. We have nothing.
Right. Right now, it's not looking good for us. We'll make a bowl game for sure. We'll make a bowl game. Bowl games are... You just have to have a
winning record.
Yeah, a winning record.
I think that's 7 wins. Right now we have...
We'll lose maybe 4. and by the end of the season.
I remember going to Florida State and we had an okay team and we lost 6. So I'm gonna...
But you look at the schedule. We'll beat Wake Forest. Hopefully, this is what I'm predicting. We'll beat Wake Forest. We got to play Syracuse. We'll beat Syracuse. I think we play BC. We'll beat BC. We'll beat Florida. Florida's garbage. Florida is garbage.
They are.
Straight garbage.
Me and you can ask our sisters to, hop on a squad and we could probably take on Florida and put points on the board. Yeah. But I still think as garbage as they are, I think we're going to lose that battle. And
I disagree completely. There's no way. Did you watch any of that Florida-Tennessee game?
Yeah, and they just barely won, but they did, and we didn't yet. And even though they got blown out by Michigan, here's my top 4 already, just so we are clear. Mm-hmm. Alabama, Clemson, USC, and Michigan. And wild cards, OU and TCU.
Michigan as one of your top 4?
Have
really?
You not seen? They've gotten extremely close ever since Harbaugh's been there. They are scratching and knocking at the door. I think they're going to break in the top 4 as long as they can make it past the rest of their conference.
They won't beat Ohio State.
Ohio State's already been beaten, so we might not have to worry about it.
Ohio State hasn't been beaten.
Yeah, they have.
Oh yeah.
So they might not have to be a factor as long as Michigan can win out.
Nah, I don't think so. I think they're too young. They lost all of their guys on the D line. They had to recoup a lot of their players.
All right, so who's in your top 4 right now?
Top 4, not because they're just the best this year, not because they're good.
Yeah.
But Alabama.
Yep.
Clemson.
Yep.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I'd say it's probably a toss-up between USC and Penn State.
Penn State, didn't they just lose? Why does USC have to be tied with the losing team? Penn
State's a good team. Penn State is really
I don't know. You know what? To each his own. That's your top 4? That's fine.
I think so.
We'll just say USC. So, that's not a bad one. That's very similar to mine. I like the way you think.
Yeah, that's what I see as the playoffs right now. But I think going back to Florida State, we can have a really good end of the season. If we beat Louisville and we played Clemson close, we could have a really good end of the season. Last year, we were 3-2 to start the season.
Okay. If Florida State if the season was a film, what film would it be?
If this season was a film,
what film would it be? A film that came out this year. Right
now, or what I'm hoping Florida State to be at the end of the season?
Both.
Okay, right now, I'm going to have to say because that first game they played Alabama pretty close. So I'm going to say, what's that movie with Danny DeVito? Throw Mama from a Train? That one, because it's like kind of like, maybe they had some validation or something like that. And then it's just, out the train you go. And no looking back. But by the end of the season, I would say like a We Are Marshall. Something like that.
Like a Matthew McConaughey film.
Like, somehow the young team kind of pulled through a little bit, you know?
Okay. On that note, I think now might be a good segue, and we just kind of leave the audience here on a cliffhanger since they can watch it all this weekend and see if we go 1-2 or go 0-3. I think it's going to look a lot like Rogue One.
Okay.
Because it's, everybody's rooting for us and maybe we stand a shot in hell, but at the same time, we all know how this story has to end. Right? We've seen these pieces line up before. We're going to give it all we've got. We might knock down somebody huge. Yeah. We might just do somebody the biggest favor of their lives.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think we're going to be sitting there on a platform on planet Jeddah with the oxygen mask, watching the world crumble around us.
Yeah. But
just my 3 cents.
But they did it for a good cause.
We did it for a damn good cause.
Also, I don't know many people who are like, yeah, Florida State, you guys can pull through. Most people I know
everybody paying tuition at Florida State. I'd say there's about 40,000 of them right now.
Yeah. But most people, I think in general, are like, ha ha ha, you got what you deserved. You've been steadily declining for a while now.
Fuck you, it's just an injury. All right. Well, that's all we got for you. Talk about some quick sleepers in the NFL who used to play in college at Florida State. We have Jameis Winston, who's, not doing too hot, but then again, Doug Martin does come off suspension soon. He's a running back, and that might give them more well-balanced offense and actually give Mike Evans some more room to breathe and give Jameis more room to fucking throw. Let's see. And Jameis is also from Florida State. Let's see. Who's another good Florida State guy? Oh, yeah. Running back Dalvin motherfucking Cook. That's his real middle name, believe it or not. And he is just running boys
from Miami,
over.
Of course. Everybody's middle name or nickname in Miami is motherfucker.
Yeah. I think Omar has 2 middle names. Omar A. motherfucking Torres. And you need to pick him up if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure he's gone in all leagues, even if it's just a 2-person league. Let's see, who else is throwing shit down? Oh, yeah, Chris Thompson. Remember him? Broke his back at Florida State, then came back looking a lot like, middle tone, latte-colored Jesus for the very, very injured Redskins, which is a terrible name. That is not a good name.
Yeah, my girlfriend's not too happy about that.
Yeah, because she's Native American. I know what you're thinking. Illegals need to get out this country. Well, the Native Americans would like to leave some very honest comments on that one, Mr. Trump. But he is tearing shit up. He's throwing down more points every single week. I think he's like second, maybe even third string. And the coach, Gruden, is actually trying to limit his time because he might be prone to injury. But you know what? That motherfucker's balling. And he's doing some very, very heavy shit. Every time he gets the ball, it's basically just walking on water. So definitely check him out. Man, who is another FSU?
Freeman?
Oh, I almost forgot about our fellow ATLian, Devontae Freeman, who we actually saw at Tin Lizzy's at the Game Watch. Very small guy. A while ago. Shout out Devontae. I follow you on LinkedIn. He, small dude, which means if you are a big guy, good luck tackling that fast, shifty motherfucker. His middle name's also motherfucker. You're just not going to catch him. He's too fast. He's too shifty. And that's why he's been juking y'all motherfuckers to the end zones. It's not going to work. He's gone in all your leagues. Don't even try. Just appreciate the show.